for they will inherit. A meek person is not a weak person. It's a person who actually has a lot of strength, but they can keep it under control. A meek person is somebody who could do something, but they're also willing to wait on God.
What is meekness? What does it mean to be meek? The Bible talks a lot about meekness, so we probably should understand what it means. First off, meekness is not weakness. Meekness is not passivity, and meekness is not being someone's doormat. Meekness is power under control. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 5, verse 5, that blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. The strongest inheritance goes to the meek. In Numbers chapter 12, verse 3, concerning Moses, it said that Moses was the meekest man to live, to walk on the planet. This is the same man that stood before Pharaoh time and time again and declared, let the people of God go. He's the same man who stood in front of the Red Sea, lifted that rod of God, and it split. He led millions from captivity and slavery to the promised land. He had power under control. In Zechariah chapter 9, verse 9, the prophet speaks of the Lord Jesus Christ who would come lowly and meek, riding a donkey. The King of glory. Jesus literally says one time he could call forth 12 legions of angels to protect him if he wanted to, but he didn't. He was meek. Meekness means you have the power to react, but instead you choose righteousness. Meekness means you have the strength to dominate, but you choose humility. And meekness means you may have the authority to crush, but you choose mercy. When we choose meekness, it means we're choosing to be Spirit-led, Spirit-controlled, to exemplify the nature of Christ in our lives, to be like Jesus. So
a lot of times people get it twisted and they view meekness as weakness. They view being humble as being scary, but they just don't know. Most of the people that's walking in meekness and most of the people that's humble have a lion on the inside of them. And you don't want to wake that lion. Sometimes it's best to leave people alone and let people be, because the humble ones and the quiet ones will be the ones that'll rip you apart if it wasn't for the goodness of God and God holding them down and holding them back and changing their lives. Everybody got a story. Everybody got a past. So just because somebody seem like they ain't about their life, don't mean they ain't about their life. You can't never judge a book by its cover, and you can't never think a person is weak because they choose to be humble.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Unspoken, the podcast. My name is Zadok Adelaya. This week we'll be speaking on meek, not weak, reclaiming strength through humility. You've watched the clips and they've talked about meekness, about having that power but not unleashing it on people, not because you can't, but because it's a form of maturity, it's a form of control, and that is strength on its own. And we'll be discussing on that as it relates to relationships. And as usual, you know, I don't come alone, I come with the crew, and I'll let them do the introductions.
My name remains Nduka Chukuma. Thanks for bringing me on once again.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Elizabeth Famalayo. Thank you.
Welcome.
My name is Tejiri Joanna Tialubi, and I'm happy to be here again.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, would you like to react to the video, sir?
Yeah, I want to say that, well, I say meekness is the heart of maturity. When you have the power to do something, but you choose not to because you are putting someone ahead of you, or because you want to teach someone some lessons. And if I may use Abraham as an example, he was the one that was called by God. The mission was his mission. He decided to take his nephew with him.
Lot.
Yes, Lot. At a point when his headers and that of Lot were having issues, he called Lot and said, oh, we are brothers. We shouldn't be fighting. Look at the land. You take any part you want to. I mean, Lot should have turned it back to him and said, oh, Daddy, take anywhere you want to go. But he looked and picked a better place, you know. And Abraham said, well, no problem. God bless you. Move on. And that's what I would define as, you know, meekness. You have the power, you can choose, but you decide, okay, let me put the other person ahead of me, you know. And in the end, you know, he got the best of it, and the other one had already chosen a
Lost everything,
yeah.
almost.
So I want to say that meekness is the height of maturity. We are now. We can, we are talking about relationship
Yes,
now.
in relationships. Now,
Yeah.
because will the meek man not seem to be a weak man?
No, except if your definition of weakness, okay, in relation with the word meekness. Now, weakness is different from meekness. A man should be matured, should get to the point where he will be feeling the heat and still maintain the steez, decorum.
The composure.
Yes, that's, what a man should be. Yes, you should be tough, you should be strong, you should be whatever that people expect. No, that's not what being a man, should be. So in relationship, I think men should be matured to, to the point where they will exhibit meekness. Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, so society expects men to toughen up, be there, and then you are saying he should be meek. Why should he be meek? Is there a reason why a man should be meek in a relationship?
Well, to me, I feel it is necessary. You understand? When a man is meek, he has this confidence in him, and he's in charge. Unlike somebody that is weak, you understand, you're just loud without holding water. So when you're meek, you are accessible. People have access to you. People see you as somebody that they can actually approach and talk to. They feel you have the whole energy to calm situation. So in relationship or in the world that we have right now, I feel when you are meek, you can control a lot of things. You can actually guard your own temper. You can actually put everything under control as a man. So I feel it is better to be meek than being loud.
When being meek, now, you say it gives access. Being meek gives access to people.
Yeah.
Now, also, when you give too much access to people, you can be triggered.
That is where weakness comes in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can be triggered, but at the same time, once you're triggered, how do you control it? You understand? Once you're able to control your temper, you are above every other thing. So once you are accessible, like people can actually approach you when they are in a tight situation, it puts them in a very safe space, you understand, to actually express themselves to you like, okay, this is who I am, you understand? But that does not mean you're weak. You are actually trying to put them in their space, but with open hands, like, okay, I'm accessible, you can talk to me, I am here for you, you can lean on me, I'm here for you. But doesn't mean that there is no boundaries, there are boundaries. So to me, I feel when you're meek, you can actually be in charge of so many things without being seen as a weak man.
Okay, but society, tends to, when a man is loud and, the voice, the way he carries himself, like, correct, that guy's in charge, Now, and you're asking us to be meek. How do you put those side by side?
Do you know, actually, the American Psychological Association, they did a research and they said that a good number of men who don't express emotions have the tendency to go into depression, anxiety, go into drug addiction and all of that, because the society has taught them to suppress emotion. And so when they express those emotions, they are seen as weak. So when they express how much the depth of love they have for their women, they are seen as simp. They are simping.
Exactly.
When they express how much they miss their woman, they are seen as weak. When they forgive, they are seen as weak. When they extol others better than themselves, or prefer others, or show reverence or respect, they are seen as weak. But that is not weakness. That is meek, meekness. Okay. So now, like she said, I'm going to emphasize on what she said. Meekness will give people, will provide the emotional safety.
Yeah,
we are looking at,
stability.
we are looking at relationship now.
Yeah.
If my man is meek, it would give me the emotional safety to be able to trust him. One, I'll be able to open up to him more, And then I'll be able to learn.
Exactly.
And then I'll be able to grow. Because if he's speaking to me from a place of meekness, I tend to listen to the correction. I'll take it as correction.
He's in charge. He's the head. There's a hierarchy here now.
If it comes from a place of control, there's something in my that way.
You see, there's a hierarchy. You're meant to submit. So will that, if you say, okay, there's something that, does that mean you have a problem with
Okay,
does that mean you have a problem with submission?
Topic of submission, though we may likely not dwell on it because that's not the topic.
Yeah.
But you see, let's just digress a little bit. Where the Bible talks about submission, it says, husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church.
Yeah.
Christ did not come to control the church. He showed love. He washed the disciples' feet. He had compassion on them. He healed them. He did all of these things from a place of love. So if you are not loving me as Christ loved the church, why are you asking me to submit to you?
You shouldn't expect that.
You shouldn't.
Of course.
You
There's no
shouldn't.
submission anyway.
There isn't. So we don't submit to control. We resist control. Human beings are triggered or are wired to resist control.
And
that is why
the specific instruction to women is to submit.
Why are the men not loving as Christ loves? See, when you love as Christ loves, submission comes in easily. You don't need
So are you
it.
trying to
Except the person is not well, okay. You know, there are some people that are not okay. That they need therapy.
Exactly.
They need special touch of the Holy Spirit to rewire.
Because you find yourself in certain situations where a man is humble, he's meek, and then, you're in some homes, in some cultures now, the man is a meek man. You go to the house and then they find the man babysitting. He has one at the back. He decides to put one at the back, and
When
then
he's doing that,
he's
what
doing
is the
that,
woman doing?
and probably the woman is cooking, and then they'll be like, "Why is one tied to your back?"
If the
You are
woman
doing
is
as somebody
cooking,
else."
if the
See,
woman,
you're not the children.
where we have problem is where the woman is
He's
sitting
not
down.
doing
Exactly.
anything.
That's why we have problem.
Now,
They're both busy.
now, I want to say that, yes, there are people that, will I say, confuse meekness and passivity or not. Do you understand?
Weakness.
It might just be pandering to the wishes of the woman,
Now, what I want to say is this. I have to be meek, but like the video we watched, you don't have to be anybody's door mat. Number one. Number two, you have to set boundaries. Yeah. Okay? Yes, you have to set boundaries. I'm a meek person, or I pray, I worked on myself, and God helped me. There was a time somebody was sent to come and stand in for someone who is working under me. And the person began to play some games, messing up, spoiling me, and then even go ahead of me to my superiors to begin to say things. Eventually, later, the person was now posted to work with me. And I did not allow what the person did to affect my relationship with the person. I kept doing my job. Now, that is meekness. Yeah. Okay? But I didn't allow the person to step on my head.
But sir, would you say that the things that the person did, because it's not just about relationships. We have different types of, it might be, yes, it's a work relationship. Now, in this particular sense, it's a work relationship,
yes,
right? Now, would you say the things that were said did not hurt you?
Yes, as a human being, it will hurt me, okay? But then God...
But you decide to do the long-suffering kind of thing?
Yes.
And how many of us do you think have those kind of patience for the long-suffering?
That is why I said initially that is the height of what? Maturity. We need to grow. We need to grow. And when you talk about relationship, relationship is not for kids. It's not for boys. It's for men. Okay? Yes, marriage is for men. It's not for boys.
It's not for boys.
So you have to grow. You have to grow to come to a point, like I said, you may be feeling the heat, but you
have to be in control.
Yes, have to be in control. So
with a lot of heat, there will be boiling. Yeah. When you put water under, you put it under some specific conditions, once there's heat, there will be boiling.
I think
and when it boils, it will boil over.
Weak people will ignore so many things.
Yeah.
They will ignore disrespect.
Yeah.
They will ignore insults.
Yeah.
They will ignore so many things, and one day it will what spiral out
Alright,
of
yes.
control. That is weakness. They don't say anything and they think it's meekness. Meekness is keeping quiet and addressing it politely.
Exactly.
Don't let it slide. Don't let it
Once they cross the
slide.
boundary,
Meekness is choosing to respond from a place of calmness, not ego. Ego
Exactly.
is aura for aura. Sorry, Okpeni. That is ego.
but there's, I'm on my own. As on my own, and they decided to come and do this to me. I did not go and look for trouble. I decided to do my day. I decided to do my things my own way. Now you've said things and I didn't react. You've poked me. I decided today, I'm like, God says, love one another. I've decided to love you with the love of God. And now you've gone to a place where you've touched me on a raw nerve. And I felt this is just the height. And I've decided to address it with you. And this is you are forming fake humility. Now, how do I deal in such instance where I know this person is just, though we are together, what I see, it's fake. I can see through their facade. How do I handle such an instance without blowing off the gasket?
I think it's all about boundaries, like we said.
Yeah.
I won't give you access to me if I notice that.
That is justice.
Yes, I won't give you access. That's why we're
You need
saying
to cut off.
cut off. Meekness is not stupidity.
Yeah.
You can, when you if I address something with you, if I see you do something once, I may tend to ignore. The second time, I will address. The third time, it's becoming a pattern. I'm going to begin to restrict access to you. To me, rather. You're not going to have that easy access to me anymore. And I'm going to be polite about it. But if you now want to move
Mad.
we will now activate the
yeah,
block key. Or do you get?
Instead of you dragging me.
We don't do that here. We don't do that here.
Truly to you, address a headlong, why block? You know.
If I address it and you're not listening to me,
Yeah.
there is no improvement. There is no correction.
There's no point associating with me.
Because I know that you are telling me you're going to do it again. I'm not going to allow you to hurt me.
Okay,
because
so
I want
what
to
if
be
it's what if it's in a marriage where you two are together now? Would you then say you cut them off now?
See, that is why I don't like people who pretend in courtship. Because you are telling the person that it's okay for the person to be doing this to you, and then when we now get married, you now change his way. Why did you take it while we were dating?
While we were dating, exactly.
Do you get that?
Yeah.
You
need to address it that moment.
Even in friendship, don't tolerate it.
Yeah.
Okay, don't tolerate it. I say it as it is. If you don't like my kind of person,
It's okay.
All right.
I have my circle.
So let's go on a break. I have some questions I want to ask, but we'll do that after the break.
That you should be cruel. It doesn't mean any of that. There's a statement in the New Testament, the meek shall inherit the earth. But the meek isn't well translated. It means something more like those who have swords and know how to use them but keep them sheathed will inherit the world. That's a way better way of thinking about it. You have to be powerful and formidable and then peaceful, in that order, right? And that's not the same as being naive and weak and harmless, which is what young men are being encouraged to be. It's like, that's a very bad idea. It's a very bad idea. Because naive, weak, and harmless means that you can't withstand the tragedies of life. You can't bear any responsibility. You'll end up bitter. And when you get bitter, then you get dangerous.
The demonstration of emotional restraint is one of the highest forms of strength. When you're upset or angry, it would be very easy to release those emotions with some act of violence, a verbal lashing, or a belligerent behavioral pattern with no consideration of consequences. But when you can withhold yourself, you're demonstrating a high level of strength. The misconception amongst the immature is that you prove strength by putting your fist up. But a wise man knows that the true power is when you have the ability to say no and put your fist down. When you want to say it and you somehow bridle your tongue, you are now at a higher level of consciousness because you're considering consequences over the gratification of the moment. When someone hurts you, disappoints you, or does something intentionally to emotionally disrupt you, it is a natural reaction to want to retaliate. But in most cases, retaliation is implemented with no real assessment of the entirety of the situation. So I react out of emotion instead of responding out of wisdom and end up with a repercussion that isn't easily wiped away. Do you know how many people are in jail or in the grave right now because they couldn't restrain their emotions for a moment and they snapped? unresolved. Do you know how many relationships were damaged beyond repair, all because an individual felt it necessary to say something and get it off their chest? And while they were getting it off their chest, they broke the heart in somebody else's chest, and there was no room for recovery. All of us are going to be faced with the opportunity to do something outside of character to appease how we feel in the moment. But the older and the wiser you get, you should consider the later as opposed to trying to find satisfaction in the now. A man proves that emotions don't run his life when he learns how to walk away.
Maturity and humility, they live in the same house. Why do I say so? Maturity requires humility. That is, when there are things that you did not know as a person that is grown and someone who knows it tells you, humility says, I need to receive it, learn from it, and begin to grow from it. Unfortunately, as men, we get to the point where we feel, I'm grown. I know what I'm doing. I don't need to receive anything from anybody. And that is where the problem is. Maturity and humility live in the same house.
Welcome back. So, Pastor, now, with the virtue of the job you do now, have you been able to handle situations like this? At the workplace, at home, there are times that you've been triggered at home that you know you could act. As the lion, as the dogo in the house, you could have. But how do you just navigate?
Just grow up and get there. Sometimes the fuse will blow. Then after a while, you're working on yourself, you're growing. I know there was a time that was a colleague of mine, But then at a point, I began to work on myself, I began to grow.
So what are the specific things you did, sir? You said work on yourself. What are the things?
Number one.
Did you see it also as a problem that you reacted?
Yeah, now, okay, let me use this as an example, okay? When I got married newly, when we have issue with my wife, she says, your mouth is too bad, But I didn't take it, it's coming from. There was a day I had issue with a colleague of mine. He reported me, and I went there. I said, yes, I said what he said I said, and that is how it is. It may be, I may say, maybe I've said it in a wrong way, but that is who he. So, as I left, I heard him telling someone that if he should talk to you, you will almost go and hang yourself. And now I remember, okay, my wife used to say that my mouth is bad. I said, okay, I have to work on. So what am I trying to say now? You have to look at what people are saying about you.
Yeah.
So you introspect with the feedback.
Yes, you have to. So I began to work on myself.
But you didn't look at it that they were just hating on you.
No. Not until then, that I was able to experience someone else saying.
So it got to a point, and then you found out that, okay, it's possible something might be wrong with me.
Yes. I began to work on myself, fast and pray.
Because there are times that people don't really like you for your person, and then they begin to, bring up criticism against you. And sometimes when you introspect, you may not be doing the wrong thing. Okay. But there are also times, I think that is where discernment comes in, and self-evaluation. Yes. Okay, be truthful to yourself. Okay, evaluate. Could I have done it in a better way? Okay, because if not, there is a thin line between listening to people pointing out flaws in you that you need to correct, improve upon, and then people hating on you because maybe you have this confidence or you have these virtues. You understand? So I think that's where discernment comes in. For me, I had to go through a process of growth. I made a post today on my social media. I was just introspecting yesterday, and I realized that some of the lessons I've learned through pain and maybe betrayal, I could have just learned it from simple instruction, and that is life for you. Because they also say that what an elder will see,
sitting down.
And
a child, toddler's palm, you still will not see it.
You know, so I was just, introspecting yesterday, and I was like, wow, you know, I wish these younger ones, you know, when we say things like, nobody go tell me what I go do, it sounds so...
I don't know one an explanation.
It sounds so woke. But at the end of the day, because the Bible says there is a way that seemeth right to man at the end. Where I'm going to is a story, you know, personal story. So while I was working, I used to be the toast of the students I was teaching. You know, the students love me, the parents love me. Lots of my colleagues do not or did not like me, of course. For my children, oh my God, those I'm not teaching, or those I was not teaching then, and those I thought, my goodness, they were all over me. I stopped taking food to school because they would want to come and eat my food. And me, I don't want wala. So I stopped taking food to school, you know. So they would just jump all over me, and they were so, I wouldn't use the word afraid. When you threaten them that I'm going to report you to Miss T, they'll run, they'll beg you, and they'll still be all over me. You know, so it was that kind of relationship with them. I didn't allow them to take advantage of the fact that they loved me and all of that. But it became problematic between myself and my principal at that time, a female. She was about in her late 50s at that time, and I was just in my late 20s. You know, so what other teachers would do that would be so serious, you know, offenses that would be so grievous, she would forgive. But me, slightest, not even an offense, maybe a misunderstanding, she would go to the staff briefing, bring me down, and I was an HOD at that time. She would bring me, and she would come and preach that we that are in the cabinet, we should support ourselves, but you will bring me down. You know, so these things, I didn't know how to address it. So this thing kept piling up. So there was a day she was talking in her office that I give her attitude. How will I not give you attitude when you keep bringing me down outside, you know? And so if she sees parents coming to say hello to me, she will accost them. Why are you going to tell her? What do you want to say? Please go, she's busy. It was that bad. The aggression was so much. You understand? Yeah. Everybody knew it was, but I didn't address it very well. So something happened, and she gave me a query. A teacher was supposed to take some students to a competition by 9. I had informed him earlier. The previous day I had also reminded him. On that particular day, the teacher came late, 9:30 to school. And then you now looked at me, the HOD, and said you are going to query me for the teacher's lateness. The teacher that came late, you did not address Asao. And I told the Asao that was that like, you know, this one where you do Osite. I gave her in the, you know, there were 2 or 3 members of staff there. I gave her oh lo. I gave, after giving her, she now called all of them that they should send message to the proprietress that I was rude to her. That's when I knew office politics. Those ones came back to meet me and told me that, well done for giving it to her. But they were the ones that still sent the message. It was one of them that came to meet me to tell me that I should be careful, that something is about to go down. So I said yes. I went home. I began to list in my book all the things that she had done. I didn't even know she was going to write a query. She wrote me a query. I gave her 16 pages. Where am I going to? God. You know, there are ways. As she had given me that query, I could have gone to meet her mama. What I did then was Omode, you know, just be diplomatic and all about it. But I gave her 6. 16 pages. It led to,
because it has piled up. You understand?
I didn't address it when I was supposed to, and when I now addressed it, I went off. I gave her word that she was not a good administrator. She did not have integrity. I was pointing it out that there was a time she did it. So if somebody that had integrity, I don't want to be mentioned. It provoked her. And because I kept receipts, everything I was saying, I was providing receipts and evidence for them. So it wasn't something she could deny. So when it came out to open, the proprietress could not discipline me, because even you yourself, you have greater offenses. But there was this resentment that she never forgave me for. And eventually it led to so many problems, you know, because we are not perfect. We always make mistakes. And so she was biding her time, waiting for that perfect opportunity. And then when that opportunity came, she struck, and it did me like I want to die. It was only God that helped me not to manage. Do you understand? So if you are weak, thinking that tolerating means you are kind, you don't talk when people offend you, you will get to a point, a boiling point, you will not be able to control your emotions again. You will go off and you will overreact.
Exactly.
So that's one of the problems of weaknesses. You would now see that people now begin to blame you at the end of the day. So
now
for
why
me,
need to talk?
So now I've now learned to.
Another thing that makes people not to talk, maybe it's low self-esteem.
Yes.
Exactly.
Not, if I come up now, I can, so.
So, Lizzie, so how does a meek person now handle disrespect, corrections, failure? Because these things are bound to happen. People will try to correct you. People will try to disrespect you. Sometimes you might not hit your target and people will be like, so with everything that the way you used to form Rambo now, this is what you can do. So this is you.
Well, to me, the best way you can undo disrespect is just to be calm about it. If you say you want to, because, okay, this person is disrespectful to you and you want to tackle it immediately, you will be at fault eventually. So the best thing is just to be calm about it, listen. Whenever they are correcting you, just listen and just hold on to that correction. You understand? Do what you need to do in your own way. Just listen to correction, be able to handle things. Just don't be a leader that, you don't want to be corrected. Listen, because at times, some people might be correct about you. You are not a perfect human being. And you also need to be put to check most of the time. So, in that aspect, once they see that you're meek, there is no how people would not want to pass their boundaries. There is no how they would not want to step on your toes. They will surely want to, because they'll be like, he will not do anything, he will not say anything. But you will say something, not just that moment. Because that moment, a disrespectful person, they are bent on destroying you that moment. So that moment, just take it in. Then as time goes on, you just start letting it out. Like, okay, the way you talk the other time, I do not like it, but you're correct. You understand? There are just so many ways you can handle things. Okay, let me use myself as an example. I am not a calm person. I must be honest. Yes, I'm not a calm person at all. Like, you bringing something like this, because I'm always prepared. You understand? But the truth of the matter is, it has affected a lot of things. A lot. Even my association, the only people that can tolerate me are my friends, closer pals. But aside that, if you see me for the first time, in fact, you might even see me for the first time and you'll be like, man, this girl is rude. She's very, no, don't go near her. But once you come to me and you're so close, you'll be like, Otieli, she's just blah, 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 blah. You understand? But one thing about me is just that I don't like to take in insult. I will dust it off immediately. What?
Back to sender.
You understand? Shift. But with my profession, in fact, it has taught me to be more patient. That my profession, once the patient comes in, this, that, in my mind, I'll be like, God, I beg, just give me this spirit of But that profession will just make you just take a lot of things in. And once you love people and you want to maintain a relationship, you just have to be calm.
All right, let's go on a break now. So we'll explore some other questions. I'll come back.
Okay.
And praise, protects, and provides in that order. Because if a man can't submit to something higher than himself, he'll make everything around him submit to him instead. See, true masculine energy has hierarchy, and God has to become first, because you can't protect what's not already grounded, and you can't provide what you haven't asked for. Most men skip that first step. They go straight to chasing money, straight to chasing women, and chasing validation, all empty things. Men want to be providers, but they never built their own foundation. So always remember, prayer is the true direction. It's humility. It's how a man admits, I don't have all the answers. But guess what? God, I'm willing to be guided. The masculine man also protects not just his woman, but his peace, his name, his energy, his purpose. He doesn't let everything pull his attention because he understands intuitively that the world's chaos will destroy a distracted man. We've been seeing that since the beginning of time. If you take out the man, you take out the family. And then he provides, but not just money. He provides safety, direction, and stability. He gives people something to believe in, and we know how important belief is. Because provision isn't just about paying bills. It's about being the man everyone knows they can count on when it gets dark. So yeah, a real man prays, he protects, and he provides in that order. Because without God, protection becomes control and provision becomes ego. But when a man leads from faith, everything around him multiplies. His peace, his money, his family, love, and most of all, his legacy.
Men who are confident in their masculinity don't feel the need to assert dominance or control. They're free to serve others with humility. They understand this is what makes a good leader. When we encounter toxic behaviors such as uncontrolled anger, violence, possessiveness, aggression, name-calling, or any form of abuse, we must recognize that these are not signs of strength, but rather expressions of weakness and insecurity.
All right, so now, sir, because of the kind of society where we are, we have the extended, we have groups of people. Now, as a meek and humble man, how do you protect your spouse from disrespect?
Number one, you must know that your wife, I'm a man now. My wife is my number one family. Okay? So I will have to protect her from my family, my parents, my, immediate family. There are certain things I would take responsibility of just to protect her, because if I allow that, the whole family will collapse. Also, she also will have to protect me from her own family if our marriage must last. So now, like she was saying, or maybe you, when they notice that you are meek, they want to take advantage of you. Exactly. They want to, don't worry, but I will not do anything.
Yes.
It has happened to me, but to me, the first time I will allow it to slide. Like she said, the second time I will try to correct, say, please. And I don't used to like this kind of a thing, And I will say it in a way with respect, but I will make sure you know.
Well, let me put you in a position. There's a trending post where a man picks up his neighbor, his wife, and then the neighbor said she sat down, the wife asked her to come down the first time. So go and sit at the back.
A man picks up
his neighbor.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they work in the same office.
They work in the same office.
Okay.
Right? So, and then he has the next stop is to pick up his wife. Now, then the neighbor now insists in sitting in front.
Yeah.
And the wife should go to the back. And the man didn't find...
No. As in, the man and the neighbor, they work in the same
organization.
Okay.
Right?
So, when they close now, they will move together.
Yeah.
So, they will now go and pick the wife.
Yeah.
So, the neighbor sat at the front.
Yeah.
So, I think the first day, the neighbor went to the back for the wife to sit at the front. Okay. Then the second day, the neighbor said, no, I'm not leaving. You should sit at the back. And the husband said, that's fine.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong. You should get her down.
It's just a seat in the car.
It's not just a sitting. It's not just a sitting in the car. Now, she knew that they were going to pick the wife. Exactly. She should sit in the back from the beginning.
Even if she does not sit in the back from the beginning, sir, the moment the wife comes in,
you get down.
Okay. That's his respect.
For the man to ignore or didn't say anything, that is not meekness.
Fishy is going on.
That is not meekness. That is weakness.
Yes, sir.
That is.
Okay. So what if your mom?
Yeah.
You were going out with your mom.
Yes.
And then as you're going, your wife had gone out initially, right? You're going out with your mom, and then you meet your wife, right? And your mom was there seated in front.
Yeah.
Would you ask your mom to?
No, that's a different.
If I am the mom,
yes,
I would come down Lolo, come and sit beside you. You know, there are things you don't need to fight over. This is my son's wife.
On that, I disagree.
No, I don't, please. Because I'm a wife to a man at home.
On that, I disagree.
And he treats me like a queen. Why do I want to take the place of queen in my son's home?
No.
Why?
I understand.
No.
Now, he said that the mom and the son, they were already out. You understand? So they went to pick the wife. Right?
They probably were going.
Did you not? Did the man not pack? Did the man not pack to pick the? He packed now to pick the. I will come down.
The only thing I will say is this:
I'll come down.
If the mother did not come down, I will
still sit at the back.
For the wife to stay. I have to sit at the back.
It's okay. But
okay.
I'm saying that if we as women would ask the men to respect us, we must respect ourselves as women.
Good.
I would respect my son's wife. Because I am a wife to my husband.
But right now,
and my husband treats me like a queen. So my son should treat his wife like a queen in my presence. I wish I could send a video. There was a video. This lady played a prank on the husband. They went to visit the man. Both the girl, the wife, the girl is the daughter-in-law.
Okay.
The boy is the son. So the father is a Nigerian. The boy is a Nigerian, definitely, but the girl is a British citizen. So they are married and they have children. So they came to do holiday, the Christmas holiday with the parents. And so she did a prank. While they were eating, she went to get a bowl of food. She now knelt before her husband in presence of the father was sitting beside the son.
The father went off on the son.
He wanted to even slap the boy. Now said, the lady now said, "My king, do I have your permission to eat?" The father said, you follow the boy. Where did you?
Is this what you do to your wife?
Stop that, bro! Stop that! Get up! When did you start asking me for permission? And the girl now said, "My children, don't I?" He said, "Yes, Daddy. You said we should always ask you permission to eat." The grandfather did not know it was a prank, and he stood up for the girl that you don't do that here. What am I saying? I don't like a one-sided thing. I speak. I'm for the truth. If I say that the man should treat me right, I as the woman should treat my fellow woman right. Sure. A Gen Z is my neighbor at home. And, my landlady is, of course, very old. And so she expects that when the Gen Z is traveling, or she must always come and tell her. I said, no, it will look like she doesn't have freedom.
Exactly. So
you must let her be, ma. Let her grow into that familiarity of coming to you by herself. Don't demand it from her. Adults, especially women, they don't want to admit that the moment you are 20, you are 18, that you're an adult. They will always treat you like a child, and it's very wrong. Allow them to grow. Allow them to experience adulthood. So if me as the mother, I'm saying it that if a daughter, except the daughter-in-law gets going for it, then she will not enjoy me. I go just lock up for you and also me that they enjoy themselves.
So only a queen can raise a prince.
I'm raising a king, and he must treat his family well. I don't come before your wife.
Exactly.
Your wife comes before me, and your children, they come before me. By God's grace, I am taking, and God will take care of my old age. I'm not going to put my feeding on my children by the grace of God. Do you understand? I don't want those things for myself. So if we are advocating for a better society from our men, as women ourselves, we should be able to do that for our daughter-in-laws and our daughters. We don't guilt-trip them. We don't emotionally blackmail them and make them, you understand? We let them explore. We let them make their mistakes.
But a mother is the son's first love,
The Bible says a man shall leave his father and mother. Oh, so father the wife. Hey, Jojo.
All right, sir. Can you give us two practical tips on how men can be meek and still show strength in their homes?
Jesus said that I am meek and lowly. Now, he's talking about two words now, meekness and humility. Okay? And I want to say that humility is not, is thinking of yourself, thinking less of yourself. Okay? Now, what I mean to say is this. You will start from humility. Okay? Put others first, like I said concerning Abraham. Put others first. It will help me to walk in that meekness. Humility is the seed okay, or the attitude or the posture, while meekness is the act, right? So I'm going to start from what? From humility, and then build into meekness.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful episode this week. I've learned. Please, yes, you're a man, you're strong. Yes, you're in charge. But yes, you can also be meek and you can be humble. And you say, it says, he uplifts the humble, right? When you're humble, people that will help you, right? Until we meet next week.
But when it's necessary, we will laugh with it.
And well, when certain situations demand it. But until next week, have a wonderful week.